Hello, hello, hello. This is Tanya Jones, our Lucy, coming to you from Butterfly Effect Counseling and Consulting LLC. All right, y'all. I asked and you answered. I have seen this pop up in more than 3 different places this week. I've seen it pop up in more than 3 places this month, this year. And if I'm being honest, it's been in my life personally in the past. We are talking about work boundaries. Mm, yes. Now, some of y'all out there feel stuck in your jobs. Some of you are stuck. You can't leave. You can't stand to be there. And this quiet quitting is a thing that's real. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's what I did. I tried though. I tried. So I thought I'd give a little background and then we're gonna jump right into it. Okay. So I am a mental health therapist. I do therapy. I help people every single day. But even I found myself burnt out and near death. That's what I say, near death. Okay, let's talk about it. So at one point in time, about actually the year 2020, the great year of 2020, I found myself working for a company that I dreamed of. I dreamed about this company. I prayed to work at this company. I literally was driving down the street, hand stretched, and prayed when I passed the building. God, please, I want to work there. It was hard to get in. You had to know somebody that knows somebody, kind of a thing. It was a state job, great benefits. Matter of fact, most people do not leave this job because of the benefits. They struggle through the nonsense of expectations that they have for them because of the benefits. The benefits are banging, okay? Let me tell you, banging. Retirement, banging. So I'm like, I gotta get in there, right? I gotta get in there. Once I got in, reality set. This is unrealistic. I cannot stay. It didn't happen at first. It was a slow, unrealistic journey. Very slow. But once I realized it, it became more of, I started to think, is it just me? I mean, people who work for this company for years, lifetimes, okay? They retire from like, that's why it's so hard to get in. Once you're in, you retire there, okay? Benefits are great. I told you, retirement, pensions, all that. You retire at this place. You don't leave this place, okay? But yet I found myself um, like a year and a half in, and I was drowning. My whole body was swollen. My joints were hurting. I was so tense that I was actually lifting one leg more than the like. It's a mess. Lifting one leg more than the other because I realized I was lifting one leg to push up against the desk when I was typing. I was hunched over. My body literally was swollen. When I say swollen, like I was swollen. All my joints were hurting, headaches. Just I wasn't eating. I wasn't eating. Now I'm a big gal. I'm a big gal. But it's not because I eat. It was because I don't eat. I do not eat. To this day, I'm still trying to rid myself of some of the behaviors that I had when I was there. For example, I did not have time to eat. So I would hurry through my meals, you know? And what was that sound? And I do that today. I still and I recognize it and I see it and I'm like, slow down, Tanya. You have all day to eat this, right? There's no time limit. You're not on a time limit. It took forever. It took me at least 6 months. It looked at least 6 months to stop looking over my shoulder and look for my, I had this. I had this unrealistic fear that at some point someone was going to jump out, grab me, and send me back to my chair. Okay. Okay. Talk about stress, anxiety. This was a job that didn't come with a lot of accolades, a lot of congratulations, you're doing good, wonderful, encouragement. That's the word. Nah, it was, where's this? Where's that? Did you do this? Did you do that? When is it? When are you going to do it? It was due yesterday. It was due last week. It was due this. Okay. Unrealistic nonsense. I had 250 clients. 250 people were coming to see me on a monthly basis. How in the world is that possible or ethical? It's not. And once I got to a point where I couldn't handle it anymore, I literally burnt out and crashed. I was a puddle of nothing by the time this job was done with me. So, when it comes to work boundaries, oh, I was with you. I was with you. I didn't have any. I obviously didn't have any. Actually, that's not true. I tried. I was an advocate for myself. I was speaking up. I was shaking, rocking the boat. And guess what? The boat rocked me right back because the boat was like, I don't care about what you have to say. Couldn't take time off. Oh, y'all, I do not like when it's like, oh, you have to be approved. Approved. You give me time, but you want to dictate when I can take it. Whew, working for myself is beautiful. It's not for everybody. It's hard. It's very hard. It ain't for everybody. Anyway, I'm digressing. Work boundaries. So yes, I was stuck. I felt very stuck. How can I possibly leave? No one leaves this job. This is my dream job. I can't leave this job, right? I was stuck. Um on top of that, I mean, come on guys. The hiring process is just horrible. I mean, you put yourself through these grueling questions. You at the end of the day, you're like, look, can you just hire me? Because I need money. Okay, I'm hungry. My family's hungry. I got bills. I got a mortgage. I just need money. I didn't even have the gas money to get to the interview. Can we just skip all this and can you hire me? Like for real? Can we agree that interviewing sucks? But anyway, whatever. I'm getting off topic. The whole point of today is work boundaries. And so I'm going to give you guys some work boundaries, but I first just wanted to let you know, look, I've been there. I have been there. I know what it's like. I tried my best. And at the end of the day, your girl tapped out. It was a Friday at 11. I came into that building. I was doing what I was supposed to do. I'm trying. This is after there was a death in my family. They didn't care. They wrote me up the same week for not having something done. What? Mind you, I just have to add this part. I just have to add this part. I just have to add this part. I'm sorry. I had a death in my family, and my job wrote me up. Oh God, the day that my brother died is the same day my job called me and said, we are going to write you up because you're behind on your notes. Let me tell you something. If you're a therapist and you do notes, not even that. If you're a therapist, you do notes, and it's time consuming. For me, it's an emotional experience because I'm an empath and I feel it. So I'm feeling it in the session, then I gotta feel it again when I'm writing. Anyway, long story. The day that I found out that the day that my brother died is the same exact day that my job called me and said, "Hey, we're writing you up. We're putting it in black and white. It's formal." Mind you, everybody else at my job had late notes. I was not the only one. I wasn't the only one, but whatever. They didn't get written up. I don't know. I wasn't even the only one that had like a long list of notes. Okay. But whatever. Okay. I'll take it. And they said to me, we're writing you up because your notes are behind. We're putting it in black and white. Enough is enough. All right. Then I got a phone call that my brother had died within 20 minutes. It was probably less than that, within 10. Okay. I call my boss back. Oh my God. I just found out. Oh, mind you, they called me at 6 p.m. This was 6 p.m. I called my boss back and said, "Oh my God, I just found out my brother died, and I got to take time off." This is during 2020. No, it wasn't COVID, but like what? The whole world was dying at this time, and I just found out my brother died. So I'm like, I got to take time off. I'll call you back. I'll figure it out when I can. Like, hung up from your brother has passed. Picked up the phone. talk about talk about life, right? So worried about that job, right? Picked up the phone. Hey, my brother just died. I won't be in. Okay. They gave me my time, but when I got back, they still wrote me up. And guess what? I took my grieving time, my 3 days. I took my grieving time to do my notes. Came back 100% on time. Not one single thing missing. Not one single thing missing. Not one. Stayed up for 3 days straight instead of grieving my brother. Stayed up 3 days straight to write all those freaking notes, okay, that were behind. I did it. Came back. Hey, guess what, guys? Hey, I know it was a hard time for me, but I got it done. I'm up to date. And they were like, "Oh, that's great. We're still gonna write you up." Whew. Anyway, so work boundaries. Number one, I'm not gonna number them, but I thought here are some tips, right? So I got out of that situation. I'm not exactly proud of how I left. I went on a medical leave. I absolutely needed a medical leave. I lost my mind. Okay. And I lost it and I found it again. And that's what I needed. Went on a medical leave. I was out for about 6 months. And by the end of 2020, I let them know that I was not coming back. Not the proudest thing I've ever done, but it was the most needed thing I've ever done in my entire life. Well, not the most. There's another situation, but whatever. We'll talk about that next time. So I did. I took a medical leave of absence for my mental health and for my body because I told you I was swollen, joints hurt, and everything. The doctor said I was like practically killing myself off of stress. Okay. And I spent that time working on myself and I spent that time getting healthy again. I literally had PTSD from this job. So I'm with you. I know. I'm with you. I'm going to go over these really quickly. You need to know your role, communicate your job duties, and you have to set expectations and be clear. Communicate your expectations and be clear. When you first take that job and they tell you what you're supposed to be doing, when they give you that job description, that is what you stick to. That is your guide. That is going to help you. If something gets added, question it. Hey, is this going to be added? Can you give me a new job description since we're adding, right? This is not to be like some kind of like, bully or whatever. This is letting them know, like, hey, you're giving me extra more than what we discussed and agreed on. Your job is not just a place where people tell you what to do. It's something you agreed to do based on what they said the job was. I've had jobs where I walked in, they told me my salary was one thing, and when I started on day one, it was totally something different. Who does that? No, sir. No, ma'am. Not me. This is what you said it was. This is what it needs to be. If it's not that, I need to go. And I get it. Sometimes you're in situations where you don't have that luxury. I understand. But you need to speak up. That's another one. Speak up when you are being violated. You have to speak up. There are times where people are in situations forever in these job situations and they haven't said anything. Speak up when you have a violation of your expectations and your job role. Okay? Set realistic expectations for yourself for your workday. If you're there for 8 hours, what can you realistically do within those 8 hours? If you can't do your whole job in that 8 hours, that means they have not set up a realistic goal for your position. And that needs to be communicated. Okay? Realistic expectations. I'm looking this way because the board's this way, so please forgive me. Say no to opportunities and say yes to opportunities. Sometimes you got to say no to something. Sometimes you should say yes. All right? Depending on, are you trying to move up in the company? Uh, are you trying to move down and say, hey, y'all put too much on my plate. I need to say no to this because I have enough, right? That brings to the next one. Have a cutoff time. If your hours are 9 to 5 and that's it, then that's it. If you're on call 1 day a week, then you're on call 1 day a week, not 5, not 7, 1 day a week, right? Have a cutoff. If you are in a job where you need to be kind of on call all the time, fine, but have a cutoff for yourself, right? If they call you at midnight, are you expected to answer? And what I mean by expected to answer is it in your job description that at midnight you are to answer? If it is, fine, that's what it is. If it's not, don't answer. Don't do it. I know it sounds simple, and we get ourselves caught up in these things where we don't realize, oh, snap, I'm bending for them. But do they bend for you? That is the question you need to ask yourself. Am I the only one doing the bending here? Are they also bending for me? Is this a give and take relationship, or are they just sucking my soul? Okay. What else? Give yourself a break. Take your lunch break. If you get lunch, take your lunch away from your desk. I know it's easy. I know it's easy to sit there and eat and keep working. Let me tell you, what is a wonderful experience is to take your lunch, go for a walk, sit in your car if you have to, call a family member, call a friend, take care of some doctor's appointments, do something other than working. Give yourself a break. Take a nap if you need to take a nap. Sometimes, like, I'm gonna just leave it there. Take a break. Take your break. You have a job description, and in that job description, they said you will be receiving an hour break, 30 minutes break, 45 minutes break, whatever it was, and know your law too, whatever the law says in your state, whatever it is, take it. It's a part of your job. It's not a, oh, this is what, yeah, you can, you have a lunch. No, take your lunch, okay? Whew. Prioritize your workload. Now that might look like coming in and figuring out what do you need to do first versus, what's on your agenda, right? Sometimes what they need you to do and what you need to do first, it might not match. So you need to know what is the priority when you come in for work versus, what they're saying. I know that sounds horrible, but communicate it. Well, if I do this, this, and this first, then this can get done a little bit easier because this, and this leads to this, right? Communicate that, right? And figure it out. If they're still like, no, okay, fine, I'll do it your way. However, this is the result. Prioritize. When you're also prioritizing, you can delegate if possible. If you're in a position where you can delegate, delegate. I know people that are in positions and they have assistants or they have other coworkers that can take on some responsibilities. Maybe it's like a joint, cohesive work environment, and they're not taking advantage of delegating tasks. If you can delegate, delegate. If someone can do something for you, do it. I know when I was working at that place, I had a secretary. I didn't hardly use the secretary for things. I could have used the secretary. Oh, can you call so and so to let them know so and so, right? Do that. Delegate when possible. Um, ooh, take ownership of your mistakes. However, when you take ownership of your mistakes, that's wonderful. It's beautiful. You messed up, you messed up. My notes were late. They were late. Now there were expectations on my job that didn't allow me to do notes. But whatever, the fact is they were late. So yes, I took ownership. I realized that my notes are late. I also realized that I didn't have an opportunity to do my notes between, 7:30 and 3:30, between 8 and 4, between 9 and 5. There was not an opportunity to do that. Whatever. Fine. You need to take ownership of your mistakes. However, you also need to keep others accountable for theirs. Okay? That's important. It goes along with speaking up. Yes, my notes were late. However, you're also setting me up for failure. You're giving me more people than I can handle in a day. And that's not fair. In 7.5 hours, I should not be seeing 14 people. That's not realistic. It's not. Not in my therapy world. It might be realistic for other job descriptions. It's not in therapy. I should not be seeing 14 people in 7.5 hours. Okay? Shouldn't be. So, not only do you take accountability for your mistakes, but you also keep others accountable for theirs. All right? Um, seek mentors. When I worked at that place, there was a woman there who she was there for 18 years. I was like, girl, how do you do this for 18 years? 18? Turns out, she said, it's never been like this. It just started like this when you got here. Wow, really? When I got here, then it started? Thanks. Things got crazy when I joined. She said it had never, in 18 years, never was it like that. Interesting. So she was able to mentor me through it, the whole, do notes while you're working thing. I hate that. I like talking to my people. I don't want to talk about, oh, okay. I hate it. A lot of people do it. I am not going to hate on you if you do it. You probably are the most productive people in the world to be able to do that. It's a craft. And don't get me wrong, I know how to do it. When I'm doing my therapy, I'm writing on the side like this. I turn, it looked like chicken scratch, but I know what it means. But a mentor to say, hey, do this, try this. I've done it this way. She was there for 18 years. So having someone at the job that can like mentor you through, having someone on the job that you can vent to, it has to be a trusted person. It can't just be anybody. Because let me tell you something, people will tell your business, okay? Um, ooh, I think I already said this one with the break, but get outdoors. Don't just stay inside that building. If you work from home, take a break, go to Walgreens, go down the street, do something. Don't just stand there. All right. And then last but not least, because I do have to leave, it's early in the morning before I take my child to work, to school. Last but not least, adjust your expectations and your needs accordingly. It's not going to be a perfect world. You need to adjust. Okay. If something is not working, go back to the drawing board, figure out why, and adjust. The ultimate thing out of everything that I've said is you need to have clear expectations of your role and clear concise communication every step of the way. If you're not in a work environment where it's a give and a take, you really need to consider whether or not you are valued there and whether or not you continue there. And that's probably another video. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I hope to talk to you guys another day.